And welcome back to the hottest marriage show in our house. It's I, John D.M., a.k.a. And Too Much Podcast. Rescripting the culture, one conversation at a time. How are you doing?
Perimenopause.
What does that mean?
I don't know. I don't think I'm really in perimenopause. I don't. However, I am flashing a bit.
What does flashing mean?
It's like hot flashes that just come from out of nowhere. So today, they go to get their hair cut. They come back. I'm in the garage. It's snowing outside. I'm in the garage cleaning the garage. They're like, it's so cold out here. You choose to do this on the coldest day? Like, I feel great. And then the door is open. He was like, well, at least do you want me to close the garage door back? I'm like, no, it feels great.
That was crazy.
I'm out there in a jacket and some Birkenstocks cleaning the garage.
You for real?
Yeah. I'm hoping that it's just, my hormones just a little out of whack or something maybe.
So what are the cons of it?
Of what?
Perimenopausing.
Just the discomfort going into it.
So what is it compared to, like, for a man to understand, like, when a woman says this, how can we, like, empathize, be like, oh?
Because that's why I don't think that I'm in it. I think I'm just getting a taste of it. When I hear people talk about it, it's like hot flashes and discomfort and, moodiness. But one of the great things is you don't have a cycle, but the cycle can come back.
Don't you have cycles?
Yeah.
So you're not, yours like.
I mean, that was a little TMI, but not really. Like, I'm only 44. So I'm still working on it. I look forward to being on the other side. Because, the longer you have your cycle, the higher the risk of breast cancer is. Because it's like the constant estrogen exposure to your body. So I look forward.
So typically if you enter menopause, you won't get breast cancer? Or it lowers your chances?
Yeah. So it's the length of time that you have your cycle. So if some people, they start their cycle as early as 9 or 10 years old. Some people don't start until they're like 13. But if I start 9, 10 years old and then I go all the way into my 50s before I start, that means that all of those years I'm exposed to more and more estrogen, so it increases my risk. But majority of the people who get breast cancer, it usually shows up in the late 50s to 60s. So it really doesn't tell you anything. It's just about reducing your risk. So I'm trying to reduce my risk. I'm not trying to reduce risk. I'm not trying to reduce my risk, and I need to work on that. That's really.
How do you reduce your risk?
Well, it's stuff like I can't do anything about my race or my age or anything like that. I'm done having kids, so that's not going to help me any further. But I've had some, and I've breastfed, so that helps me reduce my risk. Alcohol, drinking. So if I have a drink, like say I have a drink a night, then that increases my risk about 10%. If I have 2 or more drinks tonight, it can increase my risk up to 20%.
Oh, wow. So you really aren't trying.
I'm not. I like a cocktail at night when we watch our shows.
Well,
or 2.
Yeah, I was about to say, because you just said 7 to 10 to 20.
Yeah, it changes the game. And then, like, if you gain weight after you have menopause, because fat makes more estrogen even though your ovaries stop. So that also increases the risk. But I can't control that. I don't
control what?
Well, I can. I can control that. Gaining weight after menopause. So actually losing weight does help to reduce your risk and maintaining that weight loss or the reduced weight after you start menopause. But
so
I don't take any hormones either. Birth control also, oral birth control also increases your risk. And I don't take that. So
when you say oral birth control,
like a pill, because people can have a patch, they can have like an insert, they can have a shot. Those, they don't really, it hasn't really shown any consistent research that in and of itself increases your risk. But oral does, because it has those hormones. Just like when people go into menopause and sometimes they take hormones to kind of level themselves out, but that also increases your risk of breast cancer. Like We can't win. You can't win.
Well, I mean, I think you can win if you follow the rules, right? Or at least try to practice the rules to reduce.
Yes. I mean, there are things you can do, so you should be doing them. When I say you, I mean me.
Oh, I know. So what do you think is the most difficult part of you actually trying to reduce it?
My love of a cocktail.
Is that the only thing?
My love of a sedentary lifestyle. No, it's not really a love of sedentary lifestyle. Like, I like moving about, but I do it in bursts. Like, it's like when they, if I say, oh, I'm going to clean the house, then I'll start cleaning the kitchen, and then I'll take something to the bedroom, and then I'll start cleaning the bedroom. Half the kitchen is clean, and then I'll be like, let me just clean this closet out real quick. Like, that's what my burst of energy go. But day to day, other than walking the dogs, I don't really have anything popping. I probably should.
Well, I don't agree with that. It can help, but I think you walking in dogs is really enough. Being that you do it like at least 2 times, 3 times a day, I think if you increase your water intake.
Okay, real talk. So we all know John been telling me to increase my water intake for forever and a day. Last week I was talking to my brother and he was like, you drink more water than you eat. He was like, I'm not telling you gotta do. I was like, you and John don't need to be on the same train, sir. But I get that part. But all of that wasn't to give y'all a lesson on breast cancer risk reduction or anything. But it's just, it's crazy. We're at this age. We were visiting friends before the holiday, and we're all just hanging out. And I don't know who said something first. One of us was like, man. And when I say I was hot, the other one was like, oh my God. Like sweating everywhere. And so we're all talking about the stuff that we're experiencing. And it's so funny to me because I'm like, that's where we are now. When we talking about the ailments, the things that are going on with us right now, that is just like, dang, we have really graduated into the next part of life.
I wonder, you remember, I try to correlate different things of my life or men's life that kind of have those results. You remember it was a time where I was sweating under my arms really bad.
Yes. Yeah, you was walking around and it would be little.
And I wouldn't even be hot. It would just, my arms would look like that. Like it started again.
Oh, did it?
So from when they were really little kids, but I was like, is this got something to do with you? Like when you hot, I'm out here sweating for you.
That would be so nice. You could just take some of what I deal with.
But what I can feel them say I don't want it.
No, I'm saying I feel like if I could help you.
Yeah.
But I'm saying like students were like, Mr. Lewis, you hot? I'm like, no, why? It was like, oh, okay. And it's like, oh.
Yeah.
Because this is when I know what made me think about it. I wore a hoodie this week or recently or whatnot. And I put it back in the closet. And I was going through my closet to see what I was gonna wear. And I looked at the arms and you can see
you sweat through a hoodie. I don't know. Is this us getting old? I don't really know. But that's rough.
It is.
That's my favorite thing to say to people right now. That's rough.
And I will say, I don't really put clothes in the washer unless I feel like they smell or they're dirty or something. And seeing this hoodie like this in the arms, I was like, just imagine this. I wear that hoodie and I don't recognize it.
Uh-huh.
And it's cool outside. And then it was like, oh, he didn't wash that. It's like, that's dirty.
Walking around looking like ring around the rollers. That's the look. Well, yeah, I wouldn't. And I tell the kids too, like, you don't wash everything every time, but I get you got to do an inspection now.
I do. And I noticed that. I know everybody's like, he don't wash his clothes. Like, I feel like my father always told me, he was like, it would happen with the jeans. It was like, look, you just wore those jeans. Those jeans ain't dirty. You can wear them 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
And he was right. But I got it to the point where I was like, if I smell it and I don't smell it, they still clean. I promise.
Well, then the other thing is you'll wear jeans like for 2 hours to go somewhere. Oh, you have, so yeah. But
how do you think about that?
I had to because when we were younger, we were wearing jeans the entire day. You all in people's car, in the store, and the this and that, or whatever. More likely to get stains on it and all that good stuff. So, yeah.
But we was poor then, so he was just talking about loads of clothes. That's more quarters we gotta be.
Oh, my mom just.
That's what I'm talking about. He's like, ain't nobody whitewash you all these clothes. Cause they was paying for it then, you know. I never had a washer and dryer until you and I lived together.
You didn't have one in the Florida apartments?
Oh, maybe I did. I don't know. No, I did. Because I didn't use no laundromat, so I had to use it. Yeah, laundromat was Spartan Village. And then here, when we moved back here,
Yeah.
it was an apartment.
Look, I'm going to tell y'all. So I was funny acting about a laundromat. When we were younger, the only time we went to the laundromat was to wash our blankets. And so I did laundromat. We had our own washer and dryer all the way up until I was in grad school. And then I would drive my laundry home to wash it at my mom's house. And then when we moved back here, we didn't have, we were in an apartment where we didn't have a washing machine. And I was like, I'm about to go to my mom's house and wash my clothes. But then the pandemic happened and, so eventually I got to the point where I was using the laundromat and y'all was acting funny because I was like, I don't want to go put my stuff in this machine and I don't know, everybody's stuff done been all up in there and stuff. I know.
No, I was saying this is levels of poorness versus privilege.
I was just a little over the top when it came to I didn't understand the cleanliness of it.
Oh, no, I get it, but I'm saying it doesn't cross my mind because I know that I've lived that life. So I never thought about the cleanliness of a laundromat.
Yeah, I was like, I'm gonna put my clothes in there. But it's like, by the time the wash is done, the clothes are washed. So it's a washed, and I'm sure they maintenance it. And then the dryer gets clean clothes and it dry, Kanika, think. So finally I started, look, you couldn't have told me nothing about a laundromat. I was up in that mug. I love the laundromat because you finish all your laundry. Yeah, you finish all your laundry in 5 seconds. And it was so much better than being at home because half of my problem is I might be able to get through one load when I was younger. I might be able to get through one load and fold it up and get it going. But then I forget stuff is in the wash. And then I just go on about my business and it'll be spoiled and you got to rewash it. I hated laundry. The laundromat was really, really great. And then John moved back from overseas and he's doing the laundry. So it helps me so much.
I don't have a problem with doing it either because I feel like it has to be done. So, when I told you how men say women nag,
yeah,
it has to get done. To me, I feel like you nag yourself about the washing of clothes. To me, I've accepted the fact that it has to be done, so it doesn't bother me. I don't want to wash clothes, but it doesn't bother me because it has to be done. It's not like one of those things I need. If I push, whenever we get the 2 weeks and I'm like, oh my gosh, I try not to get it to that point. But I remember recently, I know I'm changing it, but you had started the clothes. I was like, I guess I waited too long. And guess what? She did not finish the clothes. Clothes in the washer and the dryer. I was like,
wait, but that'd be me helping. I'd be like, let me
get him started.
Let me do this laundry because I could do it sometimes too. And then I put it in there and then I'm like, oh, I forgot about that laundry, but he handles it.
Yeah.
The compliment. Thank you.
That's made it a lot easier for me too to do the stuff that I didn't want to do because I was like, it has to be done. So to me, it's just a part of the routine of the house. If you don't do it, you're going to be mad that you didn't do it. And then it's if it gets who wants to fold all of those clothes? And I try to fold them all before
And I'd be 3/4 of the clothes. I don't even know why I'm 3/4 of the clothes.
You're no longer 3/4 of the clothes. I just have my clothes put up by the time you get in there. And I just leave some socks.
The scandal. Look, I be coming in there feeling so bad because he'll fold so many of the clothes and then he had this little pile over here. And I'm like, I feel so bad. I don't feel bad enough where I'm going to remember to do. So when he'll leave some of my clothes and he'll just leave or he'll leave the basket there, I'm like,
No,
how much do I want to do?
Well, I typically try to fold all of them for you. But even folding them for you doesn't get them moved faster. They'll just be there or you'll push up onto the floor.
I'll take them and they'll be in the stacks and folded against the wall.
I try to make it easier for her, and she found a way like, you're not doing enough.
I reorganized the closet though.
You did.
And that makes it easier.
But I would have said, like, I would have actually put her clothes away, but I don't know where to put them. Like, I don't know where they would go. And I'm not really interested in finding where they go. But if I did know, I would put them away because they are there for long periods of time. And you know what's so crazy? Like, I just think about all of the things that she doesn't like. Like, one thing I'll say that I've completely changed. Like, we have a nightstand. And she used to hate me putting stuff on the nightstand because it would just collect and collect. I don't keep anything on the nightstand.
Yeah, it's all right.
Now, if you look in our rooms and look, you won't know who sleeps on what side because her nightstand be filled with stuff.
Only my medicine bottles and my phone charger.
I don't know about that.
It really, I'm telling y'all. The little snore things. I bought these snore things to put in your nose. It was supposed to help you to stop snoring. It didn't. It's just enough.
How do you know it didn't help you?
Because you still be getting up and go.
You want to accept the responsibility that I'm telling you, it's not you.
I'm being there.
I'm hot.
Wait, and then sometimes he'll be like, now, not often, but one time recently, he was like, you was calling them cows home, weren't you? It's like, I don't want to be like this.
It is interesting to see how your snoring over the years are just.
But what's crazy is is my mouth open? I don't know. I feel like my mouth is always clamped shut.
I don't think.
Okay. It just goes through the nose. It's okay. Do y'all snore? Okay.
Hey, and if you do snore, you probably try to find out why because it's not healthy. Typically, it's
I had a sleep study done.
apnea or being overweight or not getting enough sleep and you're tired and you're waking up, you're not comfortable. Not getting the REM, but she seems to get her REM in.
Hey, I get it. I had that. I had a sleep study and I got the REM. Do you hear me? Kanika sleeps really, really. And then when they did it, I didn't even like stop breathing. I wasn't doing anything. They were like, no, it's like really unremarkable. Anyway, did you have something you wanted to talk about? Because I took y'all on a whirlwind.
I did. I it's this short though because we've already talked about it, but I wanted to mention it. I want you guys to know, like, we have a really good relationship. I'm not lying about it. But recently we got into this big situation where I didn't know I was giving her anxiety. And I want to mention it because, like, if there are men out there that's trying to be a better person and you're being vulnerable, look, my son and I have this relationship where I want it to look like television. I want it to look like, hey, Dad, you want to go do this? And we're not like that at all. And I'm talking to Kanika about it, about how, what can I say? He takes my words, like he takes them and the way the tone sound, he just shuts down. So I'm like asking feedback. This has been like for the last couple of years. And most recently, I questioned her about something and she just exploded. Like, and I was like, oh my God. And like, I hadn't seen her like this at all. And I was just like, I had time to like really like reflect, like I'm really trying to be this person. And she just blew up on me. So she told me she didn't want to talk to me. And I said, I want to talk. She said, I don't care.
Hey, I try to be real like dismissive so that he will want to retreat. I'm like, don't he care?
So I was mad that it got to that point, but overall I got time to really think and listen to what she was saying. And my biggest fear was like making my son feel like I felt with my father. And when I got older, it was okay, but I don't want him to feel like that now. But it's one of those things where I was like, I was scared to just be a father. Like, she can't tell me how to be a father, and I can't be worried about this trauma that I could possibly cause because my intent is not like what my father was. I'm more active. I'm trying to create this relationship where he can always come to me. And me worried about his response created this anxiety in my wife because she's watching us interact and she knows how I feel. And she talks to him often. She's just like, I don't like it either. She wants it to look different. And I can't really put that pressure on her. She has ideas, but at the end of the day, I'm a man And I can't worry about how my son is going to respond. I can always ask for forgiveness, but at some point he's going to know, like, he was trying to give me the best information. And I'm not trying to ruin his day or anything like that, but I want him to get the message. And a lot of times I was scared to address it because when I open my mouth and I address him, it's almost like he shuts down before I even say anything. I'm like, hey, have a great day. Be like, okay. Like, and then, yeah, like, okay. Like, so I don't want him to feel like that. But I wanted to mention it because I had no idea I was doing this with my wife. Like, I'm like, in my head, I'm sharing things with you that most men wouldn't share that they're scared of. And then, like, I blew her up. And I learned that there are things that I'm just going to have to do. I can share them with her. I can ask for some advice. But overall, I need to be confident in the person that I am. And she'll tell me if I'm going overboard or anything like that. But I'm sorry. I am, like I definitely didn't mean to do that. And I was thinking, like, I'm the one that's working on communication every day, right? And I recognize a part of her that I didn't even know I could create. I had no idea. And then in my head, it kind of tore me up, like, you can't be scared out here in these streets. Because before I just didn't care. I'm like, I know it's in the best interest. But presentation is everything. And I got more caught up in the presentation versus the message. And I don't want to make it seem like I'm not a grouch. I just sound really firm and I need it done. I have a sense of urgency in my voice that he's serious. And I don't know how to lay back most of the time because I don't want anybody to take my seriousness as a joke. Like, if I'm telling you something and I laugh it off, if I laugh it off in my head, I don't think you think that was serious. I want you to know this needs to be done. Like, hey, I need you to go wash the car later or something like that. For real. And they don't do it. I'm like, if I go wash the car, like, if I said wash the car, he's gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? I'm about like, hey, me, don't forget to wash the car. Because, kids are gonna cross boundaries. So I'm like trying to set up an understanding. If I ask you to do something, this isn't something that it wasn't something for you to not think about. I wanted you to do it. And I think that's what it was. Like, I wanted the job, whatever job it is, I wanted to get done. And I feel like when I look at you, if the job's not done, it doesn't bother you. Like, like if you say, hey, I need you to do this, and if they forget, it's like, okay, but I need you to do it. To me, I don't want you to forget because I feel like I was serious the first time.
Well, yeah, when they forget, I know that they didn't do it because they just brushed me off. Okay, forget a lot. So I think I'm more forgiving of it because I get absent-minded. I get off track. So if they're like, oh, yeah, then I'm like, it doesn't bother me. But I understand what you're saying when you give directives. But it's not just in giving directives. Like, John wants to know something. He asks in a way where you better deliver something right now. You better deliver me an answer.
And I think I don't even mean that. But I mean, if you can't answer it, I want them to be able to say, I don't know, or something like that. Like, or something to the point where it was some thought. Typically their I don't know is before the sentence is completed. Like, did you think about that? Like, and most of the time they don't. And I'm like, I wanted the process. You can't process by saying, I don't know.
Well, and that's where I differ because I will tell him there are maybe 3 to 4 questions that you could ask before it gets to that question that will help them to build the answer that you want.
Oh, no, I know I could do better with that. I'm just saying the way that they respond, there was no thought. You didn't think about it. That's what kind of drives me crazy.
Yeah. So, I mean, in the end, it was like, okay, I cannot tell him how to be. What was stressful to me is, like he said, I'm hearing his frustration and I understand. I hear my son's frustration, I understand. And then when I watch them together, they're just like a big old mess. And nobody is...
We're not arguing or not.
No, it's not. It's just you see all of the missed messages. So it's like John speaks his language, Dallas speaks his. And when they're talking, Dallas is missing what John wants him to know. And John is missing that, like, Dallas, when he's getting the information, it feels accusatory sometimes or intimidating. So, and when I talk to them, it's just like, I'm always trying to figure out why something is happening. And I ask the 3 or 4 questions ahead of time. So I think it feels less scary for them to have to formulate a whole entire answer that's going to be sufficient. So
That makes sense, but that was you just recently said that.
yes. No, but we talked before about asking questions before.
No, we did, but I don't have a problem with asking questions, but I couldn't see
I know.
like how to ask the questions to lead up to what I really want to know. And I think this most recent, you kind of broke that down for.
Yeah, so it got to the point where it's frustrating to me because John will tell me, I'm not a man. I don't know what it's like to have to be the father, and he's right. I've seen men be fathers, some a great job, some not so much, but I'm not the one that's ever had to implement that, and I know how to navigate being a mother to my kids in their uniqueness, but I can't even begin to think about how to do it from a man's perspective. So if he asks me for advice and I give him some, but then he turns around and tells me, I'm not a man, so I can never know. It's confusing. Like, okay, so do I know so I can give you advice, or do I not know so I need to just keep my words to myself? Like, I could be saving my breath. So it gets frustrating to sit there and watch, and he's on the other end and he has all of these good intentions of what he wants with his son, and his son can't get none of it because it all feels like so. But I mean, I just give what I can give. I was frustrated at first and felt like I'm not telling him nothing else. And I said at that point, I'm fine. Your relationship is what you make. I'm about to step out of this. Don't ask me for nothing. But I don't want that. I want them to be happy. I want them to be happy with each other. And so I can't do that. I can't just step out of the way. If somebody asks for my help, I'm going to give it. But it is hard because there are parts of it that I just don't know.
Well, I don't think we'll have those problems anymore because I've already decided in my head I'm just going to do what I need to do. Like, there's no reason why you should have to worry about that for me. So to me, I feel like where we are now, he and I are, is a lot better than it was because it was me. It was my perspective, and it wasn't him. He's a kid. He's just being a son. So I can't be the insecure one in this mud. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, like I recognize in our last interactions, like over the week, that it's where I wanted to be. And I know it can get better because our conversations have changed. They have always changed, but I can hear him entertaining the conversation. So yeah, but I just wanted to come on here. And so like we have the best relationship I've ever seen in anybody at this point in a marriage or knowing somebody from my own eyes and interaction. So I wanted to come on here because a lot of times we talk about, how to talk to each other and all of this, but we don't really talk about when, you do all of this practicing and then it still doesn't work. Something happens and those things are going to happen, but it won't happen anymore because we were able to address it. And, no matter how she was feeling at that point, I don't want to ever get her again. So I know that I have to cover my bases as a man. And when I present stuff to her, I can't hold her accountable for not giving me information that it's going to work. Yeah, like
I'll be like, what? Yeah, well, thank you for that.
Yeah, for sure. But anybody you want to give a shout out before we get out of here?
No.
I want to give a shout out to any and everybody who has found anything from watching our episodes, because we are only trying to give information that could have helped us or just a different option on how to respond to reduce conflict amongst the people you love.
Yeah.
Y'all make today better than yesterday. Don't worry about anything you can't control. GATA. Get after that action or that action will get after you. Be great on purpose.